I'm always cognizant of that there's a danger behind the mentality of there can be only one. There's a difference between my favorite team is X and my team is the only one. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to have those conversations, which I think we hear more often than we'd like in pipe bands, from regardless of grades, regardless of instrument, that the conversation is not, man, I really dig that team. It's, no, that's the team. There is no other one. It's that team. And I think it comes back to what we've talked about a lot. We're so hyper-focused on the competitive aspect of it that we lose sight of that this is just music, this is an art form, and it's a community. I know that sounds all rosy and fluffy and stuff, but it is. It is a community of people, and I think that if we want it to continue, then I think we can think about these things. And every band struggles with recruitment, and I think that these sort of conversations might contribute to some of those problems.
I think everybody has things that they naturally gravitate towards. There's things that I like to hear or I prefer to hear out of a drum section.
Sure.
And so there's naturally going to be certain bands perhaps that I really dig these guys because just stylistically, I gravitate more towards that.
Yeah.
But, there's no bad bands.
There aren't.
It's kind of, people might find it funny when I say this, when I drop this bomb, that, one of the bands I really enjoyed listening to and watching in person last year when I had the opportunity to was watching Glasgow Sky. I've always been a fan of Arthur's drumming.
Oh, yeah.
Again, all these guys that kind of come from that era who all came up together.
Yeah.
Eric, Jim.
Yeah.
They've all gone to do their own thing. They all have great style. But for example, they've in recent years kind of been in and out of grade one and, back in it now and trying to come up and make the dent. It's a difficult grade.
Yeah.
They're the best bands in the world.
Yeah.
But I really dug listening to their drum section.
Yeah.
Bass and tenors and snares. I thought they were doing some really cool, musical stuff,
Absolutely.
But yet people might see where they're ending up right now.
Sure.
Down a bit in the standings, but again, it's about the music, and it's like
it really is, and that's a good point, that there isn't a bad band just because a band didn't make the final or made lower than projected, whatever. That is not a reflection of the quality of music they make.
There's a lot of great bands that don't make the final. That is so difficult.
Absolutely.
And no need to get into what we all maybe think about the format of the Worlds and stuff like that, but I would love to be able to just see every band play.
Absolutely. And I mean, I really think about these things that I preached constantly as a public school teacher and university teacher, doing all kinds of competitions, right? In pipe bands, we think what we do is very competitive, and it is, but it's not the only competitive circle out there. There's tons of them. And so in a lot of the other ones that I've operated in, especially in the States, I think the most positive message we can deliver is everyone else is going through what you're going through. Every other musician and ensemble is striving to be their best and striving for improvement, and sure, it'd be cool to win. But at the end of the day, it's really not in your hands. You could have the most tear-jerking, heart-yanking performance of your entire life, and that panel just might not agree. Why would you put your experience, your personal experience, and for this day you only get one, why would you put that in the hands of someone else? Own that, be that. And I think that message is more consistent in other competitive circles. And I think that's why the population's bigger, the retention is longer, things like that. And that would be a cool thing, I think, to see and hear more often in pipe bands. Yeah, we want to win, and yeah, we want the stuff and the medals and all of that, but the experiences, we control that. And how we approach the activity really determines at the end of the day how we remember the day. And I would really like to see more pipe band people of all grade levels to just be happier about their experiences and their performances, regardless of what the result ends up being.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always a bummer on the day when you're in a big contest and there's a couple of big honkers in the pipe section, or you drop a bass drum mallet, and that's gonna, chances are that's probably going to get noticed, and it's going to set you down in the results, or
It happens.
any number of these technical things that you're being judged on that can happen that might deter you from getting the result that you really want.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you're exactly right. It's about just making good music. I will say that one of the things I really loved when I was, graciously invited to come out and play with the Dowco Triumph Street folks, was that mentality was very much there in that band. Like, let's just play some good music.
Yeah.
Let's try and play it really well.
Yeah. Let's be good.
But let's
be good.
Let's just let's actually have fun. It was such a great vibe to be around those people. It's a shame it didn't last longer, but I'm grateful for that 1 year opportunity, that it was like just a really, really cool environment, and just the way they ran everything was very much that kind of vibe. And again, we wanted to play technically as best as we could, but at the end of the day, it was just about making good music, which
that's awesome,
which is cool.
Man, I've known a few of the Dowco crew over the years. Like, I met the Hilders for the first time a handful of years ago. Awesome people, and so I as an outsider could see that team being assembled and having that sort of vibe. So that's really, really good to hear. And even just being around you guys a little bit, it seemed like people were having fun. People were doing the work, making it happen. It's tough, but people were still smiling and having a good time.
Yeah, it was very much
which is great.
Very much a unique situation with the band so spread out internationally.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you had some people coming in from the moon, a couple on Mars,
pretty much.
Right? Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is that we were talking about this last year, I think, when we were at the UK Championships in Belfast, and really enjoyed that contest. That was really great. We had this kind of, we really had to take advantage of the opportunity when we were together to get a lot of work done. Because purely because of geography, we couldn't get together every weekend and practice as a whole complete group. So again, utilizing technology and splinter groups,
just efficiency of the operation,
and trying to be as efficient as possible. It was amazing how that stuff could come together, and we could still get a decent result out of it.
Absolutely.
If we were able to get together like more often. I really do, and I really do truly feel like we could have been like one of the top bands.
No doubt.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Who knows? It's all one of those things. But still, the track record that they had, making the final 10 years in a row,
exactly.
Is pretty good. There's a lot of bands that would really kill to be in that position.
My goodness, yes. And I think that's a really good demonstration and a really good lesson for a lot of lower grade bands, in that not everyone has the availability of the local crew, and you can put the pieces together, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be an all-star team. You guys were definitely an all-star team. But it's not like that happens by just pure talent. It happens by efficiency, and I think it happens also by just the vibe of the leadership. Setting the precedent for what our team is and how we deal with our unique challenges. You had a unique challenge of geography and zero time, and again, I think a lot of lower grade bands, they feel we can't overcome our challenges because of either geography, time, personnel, maybe not enough money for instruments, whatever the case may be. But Dowco, I feel, proved that if you have enough people that simply want to play badass music together, they will come and it will happen. And I don't think you have to be grade 1 to make that happen.
No.
I think you can be, grade 5, 4, 3, whatever. And
I
have
think
the
you
same
can
thing.
take the same approach at any grade level. It's just a matter of like, do you want to do it or
Yeah.
not?
Is it that important to you?
Well, if it is, yeah, and and maybe it's not, and that's also okay.
Yeah.
But if it is important to you, there's always ways around any problem. I mean, this is
Absolutely.
like a metaphor for life, you
Right.
know.
Yep.
It's so silly sounding, but it's like, life coach Johnny Rowe, like life coach Michael Eagle, But it's kind of true. It's like I am not a very tech savvy guy, I kind of just missed the boat on that one when I was coming out of university. Like that was like the birth of the internet, and I was like, I don't need that. What's an email? I don't need.
That's a fad. It'll
I
be
don't.
gone.
Yeah, it'll be gone in 2 years tops.
Yep.
Well, yeah, not so much, right? But
Right.
the thing is, like, you can overcome things we've got the technology now. We've got all these increased ways to. Hell, man, I know guys who have students halfway across the world because
Yeah.
they're able to teach on Skype and
Absolutely,
everything.
yeah.
And that's such a valuable tool now.
Yeah,
I mentioned earlier, talking about some of my playing approaches and stuff like
Yeah.
that we have all these tools now, YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got all these things available at our disposal that really kind of make the impossibilities way more possible.
Yeah.
And if there's a way that you want to get it done, as long as you're surrounding yourself with like-minded, positive people,
Yes.
figure it out and
Yes.
get it done. It's not always about money.
Yeah.
It's not always about this, that, and the other thing. It's just figure it out,
Yeah.
Everybody and their dog has a smartphone nowadays.
Yeah.
You've got the tools right there to help you big time.
And just access anything.
Access anything.
Yeah.
Take recordings,
Yeah.
video yourself playing and analyze it later. Video your band or, take an audio recording, whatever.
Absolutely.
I always like video because you've got the audio and the visual then
Yeah.
to kind of see things. But it's like use all of these tools and learn from it and communicate with your other people. Just like I'm approachable, just like you're approachable, everyone's approachable. They should be approachable. Go up and ask questions. Don't be afraid. And if you want to make it happen, whatever it is, get in there and figure it out. Make it happen.